you are tired of searching the internet, how to make money. You see people telling you about drop shipping and all kinds of stuff. So I have a real good intimate conversation about the exact ways to get to the money and make money. And I'm gonna pick three people on this live $100. I was gonna originally make it 50, but three people are gonna win $100 currently. So the question that I want to that I want you guys to ask yourself is, how much money does it take? Like, how much money do you need? So let's start there. A lot of people want a lot of things in life. A lot of people, you know, just want all kinds of stuff in life. Um, let's see. Okay, cool. So I'm watching some stuff. I'm here in my bedroom. You guys can see my bedroom. I'm here in the bedroom. But so this is an intimate conversation. Pause. But how much money does it take? Like, ask yourself, and I want you to put in the comments, how much money do you need? And be careful of what you say because you just might get it, understand? But we're going to talk about it, and we're going to see, like, how you see it, the things that you really want for. Now, a lot of people say, hey, man, I want $1 million. And understand, God, the universe, or your own actions, or all three of those can come together and you can get that $1 million. But what you got to really focus on is, who are you? Are you ready for $1 million? So the person that you are at this moment, especially if you're in a desperate need, we're going to talk about that. But when you're in a desperate need and you want things, you're usually going to sabotage certain things, because when you're in a desperate mode, you don't see all the details. You don't really focus on the things that you need to hear or see to truly be successful. You just want to eat real quick. You just want a couple of dollars so you can survive. So when you're in survival mode, survival mode just teaches you, man, to not see the detail. So as I said, three people on this live are gonna win $100 at the end of this live. So I'm gonna need you to put your information. I'm gonna probably pick you, but you're gonna need your information. And again, welcome YouTube, welcome YouTube. But three people on this live is gonna win $100 at the end of this live. So I'm gonna need you to be transparent. A lot of people like to hide behind, different things and fake profiles and stuff like that. But if you want to get that money, you're gonna have to participate. How you doing? Hi, how are you? So three people are gonna win $100. So stay to this live. Now, how much money do you need is the question. These are the things that, man, if you wanted to get anything, like, I'll be happy if somebody asks me this question. How much money do you need? And a lot of us, I'm going to teach you some things to not answer it. Grand rising, grand rising. Well, it sounds shady because you're shady. Just understand that. However you see stuff is really a direct mirror and reflect of who you are. So you must be shady. Because here, I'm just motivating you to understand $100 is really not a lot of money. Now, to people today, $100 can help out a lot of people. I don't turn down any type of money. So that's why $100 can fill up your gas tank. $100 for people who do orders and rides. A full gas tank can help you go make probably $1,000. So $100 is good. So I'm going to give three people the opportunity to get $100, period, on this live. So that's just what I'm going to do. But you're going to start to understand a few things. Now answer this question, put in the chat. How much money do you need? You know what I mean? How much money do you need? Like, ask yourself that question. I want you to answer it. How much money do you need? Now be careful. Think about it, because you just might get it. Be careful of the things you say in this life, because you just might get it. Your words are very powerful. We're going to talk about that. But how much money do you need? You mean? How much money do you need? What do you need to feel secure or to survive today, or to feel like you've won? How much money do you need? Put that amount in the chat. So somebody said at least 30. So $30 is all you need? Okay, well, I'm giving out $100 three people on this live. So how to qualify for that? Of course, you're gonna the people who put the most positive messages on here, the people who have the most hearts and thumbs ups and likes and stuff like that. If you want to share the video, and I want you to repeat after me, I'm going to get the exact amount of money, the exact amount of things that I need to be successful. I want you to repeat that. So if you're able to put a positive comment, put some hearts and likes on here, and repeat this, what I just said. I'm gonna say it again. I'm going to receive the exact amount of money, the exact things that I need to be successful for me and or my family. If you say those things and you follow those directions that I just said, three people I'm gonna pick, and I'm gonna send you $100 tonight. I'm gonna bless some people. $100. Hey, as I said, some people think $100 is not that much. Hey, $100 can do a lot, especially in today. $100, and we're just getting started. You're also gonna make a rich friend, and more rich. When I say money is not the only richness that I have, richness in knowledge, and richness in taking the time to try to help people understand certain things about money and about things that hold you back from success in life. So that's what this live is going to be about. But I said three people are going to win 100. Now, put in the chat right now, and there's a lot of people in the chat. Put in the chat right now, what's your credit score? Or do you even know your credit score? You know, what's your credit score? And or how much debt are you in right now? How much money do you owe currently? So put those things in the chat. Hi, Madeline. How you doing, Madeline? Meat. I don't know how you pronounce that. Meat power. Um, so somebody said, Dominic said 15K. Um, Dominic Sosi. I believe this is my client, Dominic. Right, Dominic? For sure. So, Dominic, you can win too. But either way, I really try to tap into the minds of people today. And, I'm gonna tell you guys a quick story. You know, I grew up, I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California. I was born in Watts to keep it a buck. I was born in Martin Luther King Hospital. They call it Killer King. Welcome YouTube, welcome YouTube. So, but that's what they call it because people who went there for a scratch didn't survive. So I was born into an environment where not too many people survived. I was born around gang violence. I was born around a lot of just it wasn't easy being cheesy. You know what I mean? So, and over the course of time, I also was raised in the South. So my mom is from Texas, the country, and she just happened to go to California and have me. So I was conceived in the country, but she just happened to go to California and had me in California. So I'm a city boy, but a country boy at heart at the end of the day. So, but I was born into a crazy environment at the crazy times in the 70s. So, but over time, despite my environment, despite that things that was trying to teach me to you know there's a lot of things around me that taught me to not really care about financial things, not really care about my tomorrow. Hey, everybody was trying to survive, so everybody wanted to just do what was best for the day. But something that's in my DNA, probably from my grandfather, from my grandmother, you know, that were prominent people, something in my DNA said, man, I see what's around me is making me think that the opportunities are scarce, but there's got to be something else. So I started to travel. I would go to Orange County. I would travel back and forth to Texas in the summer times. I learned a lot of etiquette, work ethics, baling hay, picking peas, being a part of a family. In order to eat, everybody had to go have a job to do. So those things in the summertime would help me grow myself. But when I go back to the city and be around a lot of, negative influences. So despite those things, I gathered up information. I went to school. I got I got into real estate. I got 10,000 hours in law. I did a bunch of stuff, and I made my first $100,000. I'm doing a lot of skipping, but in my early 20s, I made my first $100,000 because everybody around me was working. We had jobs. Everybody, paying their bills and stuff like that. But I knew, hey, I had to take a risk. So I found a place that was like an hour and a half away. So I was gonna have to drive an hour and a half home. But as you know, in California, a 20-minute drive is an hour and a half drive because of traffic. But I was just going the opposite way. So it was an hour out with no traffic versus an hour, 15 minutes, but that turned into 2 hours of traffic. So I took the risk. I bought the house. I'm skipping some stuff. So I had a crazy credit score. Had a 400 credit score. Luckily, I worked in Newport Beach. I worked around rich people. I worked around people who saw life a little bit differently. I worked around people who took different risks. Everybody has the same 24 hours at the end of the day. That's why people on this live, three people are going to win $100. Everybody, understand, everybody has the same 24 hours. So I started to hang around people who just saw it differently. These people wasn't really focused on the 9 to 5 all the time. They already had, they had boats, yachts, all kinds of stuff going on. So, they would always ask me, like, why do you work here? Because I guess my etiquette, my brain power, my coolness, all those things wrapped in the one. They were like, man, they started talking to me. I would help them on their things. And they're like, man, he just saved me $5,000. Like, so, I would help them on a bunch of stuff that I really didn't have to. So they've been inviting me to lunch, talk to me about a bunch of stuff, ask me the same thing I'm asking you right now. They ask me, how much money do you need? I'm asking it to you. I'm doing to you what was done to me to get me over the hump of becoming successful. So I was like, what do you mean? I was like, they was like, no, how much do you need? Like, how much money do you need? Like, what do you need? I said, well, I want to buy a house for my kids because I had kids at the time and I couldn't take them to the park because, I had people acting a fool, shootings and all kind of stuff. I couldn't even take my kids to the park. I had to go drive hours away to a good neighborhood to do stuff like that. So I longed for the ability to just, exist in an environment with my kids without possibly risking my life. So I wanted to buy a house. That's what I asked for. They was like, okay, we're going to help you do it. They asked me, what's your credit score? Everything I'm asking you is what was done to me. So everything that was done to me, I'm doing it to you now. Pause. So, as I said, put in the chat, what's your credit score? And somebody put, what's even a credit score? So, you're going to find out what's the credit score today and how that affects you on so many levels. So they asked me, what's your credit score? I was like, well, it's a 480. I remember looking it up. So I said the same thing you said. I said, what's a credit score? How do I find it? So they taught me how to go to Credit Karma. You sign up with Credit Karma. You put your information in there that it's going to ask you. It's going to find your profile if you have good or bad credit or whatever score you have. And Credit Karma is going to let you see a Vantage score, which is not a real FICO score, but it's going to give you an idea with TransUnion and Equifax. So Credit Karma tells you what's on TransUnion and Equifax. So that's two of the three credit bureaus. The third credit bureau is Experian, right? So on this YouTube channel and on this YouTube platform, you're going to learn a lot. So that's how you find out, in order to understand to be successful, you need to know where you at right now. Even if you're doing great or you're doing horribly, you need to map out, you need to find out where you are in order to figure out where you're going. Because if you don't know where you are currently financially and or credit wise, it's going to be very difficult to go somewhere positive anyway. You're just going to be running in circles like everybody else around you is doing, existing, surviving, check to check, job to job, all these things. So now they asked me the question. I told them I had a bunch of stupid stuff on my credit. Bunch of stupid stuff. Bunch of stupid stuff. So remember, I wanted to buy a house. So I had a bunch of stupid stuff on my credit. Phone bills, gas bills, $30, $80, a bunch of little stupid stuff because I didn't know any better. So they didn't judge me on that. They judged me on my character of how I treated them and then the things that they liked about me. So they wanted to help me. You know, when you do something for a rich person or somebody who has value, most of those people are want to outdo you back. So you got to start being around people who want to help you just as much as you want to help them. Very important. If you're around people who just take from you all the time, and if they get something or whatever, they don't even think about helping you, you're gonna have to change up your relationships at the end of the day. So you got to start being around people who are willing to do for you just as much and or more that you're doing for them. That's a number. That's one of the cheat codes. Who you hang around, who you do for. Like you know, think about people in your life right now that you're doing something for. Whether you're helping them on this, you're talking to them, your friends. Think about these people. What are they doing for you in return? When it's time to do for you, or if you need something, are they missing? If you need something, do they have amnesia? They don't even think about helping you. They're only busy about how you can help them all the time. Because a family is supposed to help each other. I learned that in the country. I baled the hay, I picked the peas, I went to fish. I had cousins who picked the berries. I had other cousins who cleaned the fish, other people who fried the fish, other people who cleaned up. Everybody had a job to do, so we all survived and had an amazing day every day because we all chipped in to help each other in some kind of way. So you got to start thinking about that type of circle. You know what I mean? Start with one and multiply. So, boom, I told them everything. They say, okay, let's start fixing this little stuff. They taught me how to type letters. They taught me how to call these companies to try to do some sort of deal with them. Hey, I owe $50, but can I give you 10 and we can get this deleted? Half the time it worked. Other half I have to send letters and got to delete it through the credit bureaus. But over a course of like 5 months, my 480 score turned to like a 720, 740. Now, to buy a house, understand they're going to check all three bureaus, but whatever your highest score is the score that they're going to use. So that's a benefit. They're going to use your highest score, your highest FICO score. So we're going to talk about what a FICO score is. This is what a FICO score is. In order to have a real FICO score or a score that counts, you got to have at least one account, whether credit, installment, something that you owed money and made a payment on that's at least 6 months old, or you've made six payments on it. Because in order to have credit, you don't have to be a citizen to have credit in this country. You just need to be a resident. So in order to qualify for residency, you have to be present for 6 months or 183 days. So that's why the credit system, you need at least one account that reports to one of the three credit bureaus, and whichever one it reports to, that if it reports to all three, then you're gonna get a credit score with all three. But it needs to be 6 months old. So an example, if you have an account that's only 5 months old and it reports, they're gonna say your credit score is a 4. But the moment it reaches 6 months old, or you made at least six payments on it and it's reported, you boom have a 600 to 800 credit score. So that's what a credit score is. It's at least one account that's reporting to one of the three bureaus, preferably all three bureaus, that's at least 6 months old, or you made six payments on it, which qualifies you for the residency thing, 183 days. So you having an account that's 183 days, and it's reported to your credit report that's attached to your name and address and social or credit number or whatever it is that you're using. And now you have a real credit score. So those of you, that's how you have a real credit score. So now Amanda's debt free. Amanda's debt free. Amazing, Amanda. Now I'm gonna talk to you about how billionaires are in debt. The richer that you want to be in this country, eventually you're gonna want to borrow some money. You're going to want to put somebody else's money at risk. You know what I mean? With your knowledge, you borrow money and put other people's money at risk to go make more money. We'll talk about that in a second. So, the most comments, the most positive comments, the most likes, the most thumbs up. And I said earlier, if you say out loud, I'm going to receive exactly what I need, money wise, or whatever it is I need to be successful, you're going to be in the winning to win $100. Three people are going to win $100, period. So I'm cash apping you tonight. As you can see on the screensaver, this is the last couple of months I've sent out that amount of money. You understand? I see you. You back. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. You kind of started off a little, but hey, we all fall off, but sometimes you got to get back on. You know what I mean? So, as I said, three people gonna win that. Now, I'm gonna let you do whatever it is that you want to do with that $100. Some people need it for food. Some people need it for gas, pay a bill, whatever that is. But you're also gonna have an opportunity to use it for a consultation with me for 30 minutes. And I'm gonna really help you with some tangible things to put a change in your life. You understand what I'm saying? So, because knowledge is everything. Knowing something is half the battle. What you gonna do with that knowledge is the question. So that now is gonna fall on your character. So, if you was to get everything that you ever wanted right now, are you ready for it? Put it in the chat. Are you ready for everything that you want right now? Be honest with yourself. Like, be honest with yourself. Because I remember they asked me the same thing. They asked me, this is the rich people I was hanging around. Are you ready for a house right now? Are you ready for it? And I said, truthfully, I'm not. I want a house. I want these things, but I'm not ready for it because I didn't have good credit. I didn't understand what it took to go, to go get it. I didn't understand. So I told the truth. I said, nah, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. You know what I mean? So they said, okay, well, we're going to help you get ready. See? So it's very important that you around people that's willing to lift you up. You know, whatever it is that you can do, you do, and whatever their talents and positives, they're gonna do for you. So if you're around a circle that's willing to do for you like you're willing to do for them, everybody's gonna have some sort of success. So they helped me get ready. They start talking to me about. They say, "Hey, how much money do you make here?" I told them. They said, "Okay, you make a decent amount of money." They said, "So what do you do with your money?" I said, "I pay bills. I go to the movies." I told them all the stuff that I did. So after we added it all up, they realized I probably spent like $900 on BS. I BS $900 every month, which like a lot of people who, man, I don't got enough money. You have enough money. You just use a chunk of your money on BS. And nothing that you're using that on is gonna help you or give you a return. And that's also energy. You could be using a lot of your energy helping people that's never gonna give you a return. You could be helping a lot of selfish people out there. You know what I mean? You could be helping a lot of selfish people out there, and they're not gonna ever do nothing for you. So you gotta, you gotta cut that type of stuff off. So I was doing $900 a month. So they said, hey, just for 30 days, we're gonna show you to take that $900. You're gonna save $200 of it, and now $700. We're going to help you fix your credit. We're going to help you get all this stupid stuff off your credit. You're going to start using your money towards getting this stuff cleaned up. Just 30 days. I think I owe like, I want to say about around $2,000 worth of stupid stuff. Most of the stuff I got deleted. Some of the stuff I had to pay a little money to get it deleted. Had to, use some money for envelopes, mailing stuff, you know, time and effort and a little bit of money. After 30 days, I was getting stuff off of my credit and I started to see the success. So I didn't have to make any extra money. I just started to use the current resources that I currently was having at that time in a better direction. I started to use my resources better. I started to use my stuff in a better way. And that's all you need to do. I'm going to tell you, whatever, if you're alive right now, say you're sick, but you're alive right now, well, all you have to do is start putting better things into your body. And you're going to be able to win. Nothing's going to hurt you if you're currently alive. But you just got to start doing better. You got to start making better decisions. So think about it. For the next 30 days, I want you to look at everything that you spend right now and look at it. Remember, your stomach tells you, I need this. I need those cookies. I need that beer. You know, I need to XYZ. I need to buy those Jordans. I need some clothes. I need some cologne. I need, all the stuff that we like to buy to feel good. I need to watch Netflix. I need to go to the movies 6 times. And you're going to have to tell yourself, just for 30 days, do I really need that or not? So you're going to ask yourself, do I really need that or not? Especially on this YouTube platform. Remember, YouTube gives you a lot of, there's a lot of people on YouTube that try to help you. There's a lot of people on YouTube that try to waste your time, but we're talking about the good people like me who's trying to give you information that matters in your life. You know what I mean? So YouTube's platform is really something that you want to really think about and start using your time on YouTube differently. A lot of us like to scroll and entertain and look at stuff on YouTube, but you got to start trying to find information that's going to help you on YouTube, because YouTube is like an encyclopedia. You know, it's like a Google. It can help you. It's like a Chat GPT. It can help you if you ask it the right questions. If you put the right data into it, it can give you a wealth of knowledge in return. So same thing in your life. If you put the right knowledge and information towards something and you stay consistent, it's going to give you a positive return. So think about the things that you do in the last 30 days. How much money do you spend? Thumbs up. Like this live. Put some comments on here. How much money do you use? Or, I'm sorry, how much money do you spend on stuff that don't matter? I was doing $900 at the time, and it was like pulling teeth. I didn't want to do it when they told me, no, okay, you're not gonna, you're no longer gonna spend that $900 on that same stuff. You're gonna sacrifice 1 month of not doing anything crazy, and you're gonna start putting that money towards what's gonna actually help you. And I didn't know what that was. They helped me with that. That's what I'm trying to help you with. So you're going to put your money, put your time, put your efforts in the thing that's going to help you understand, um, meet God. So Meet God VR. Meet God VR didn't know what credit was or what a credit score is. But after he leaves, he or she, I don't know if you're a guy or girl, my bad. But after you leave this live today, you're going to know what credit is and what a credit score is and how to go find yours. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's gonna change your trajectory of things. So I'm gonna give you an example. If you tell yourself, I want a Lamborghini, or whatever your favorite car is, put in the chat, comment what your favorite dream car is. Comment what your favorite dream car is in the chat. And I'm gonna show you something. So first person to comment is gonna get an additional 100 points towards that $100. First person to comment. Let's see. Let's see what you got. Your dream car. What's your dream car? Hummer. Dominic got that 100 points. So Hummer H1. Is that the one with the engine, or the new electric one? The one with the engine or the new electric one? Dominic. Dom. Dom for short, if I may. Engine or electric? I'm saying electric because Hummers are gas guzzlers, but we're gonna use that as an example. Your Hummer H1, the engine. Hey, nothing wrong with the engine because hey, gas is expensive, but you should be making enough money to pay for the gas, right? So it's your dream car, right? So I want you to pay attention. Everybody in this live, even you, even though that the Hummer is not your dream car, you're gonna still probably start seeing it. Now start paying attention in the next 30 days, especially in this next week. Hummer H1, Hummer H1. I'm gonna say it 3 times. Hummer H1, a Hummer H1, a Hummer H1. Everybody say it. Say it 3 times. Hummer H1, Hummer H1, Hummer H1. And I'm gonna post this video later on. I want you to come back next week. We're gonna do a 7-day challenge. You're gonna tell me how many times that you're gonna now start seeing a Hummer H1. Now we're gonna talk about why you're gonna start seeing a Hummer H1. It's not the fact that the Hummer H1s all of a sudden are gonna start appearing. The Hummer H1s was already there the whole time. You just never paid attention to it. It was never on your radar. So by you speaking it out loud and we all said it together, you're going to start seeing it because now you've turned on your radar to start seeing a Hummer H1. Watch what I tell you. Watch how many Hummer H1s you see. And I want you to come to this video and put in the chat, I saw X amount of Hummer H1s this week. You're going to see 5 or 6 of them. A bunch of them going to start popping up. Or whatever your favorite car is, you're going to start seeing that. Now, why are you seeing those things? And that same thing that you're doing with the Hummer H1, I'm going to teach you how to do that with opportunities to make money. So when you start telling yourself, remember what I told you to say in the beginning? Remember, I told you to repeat, I'm going to have exactly what I need, whether money or whatever it is I need to be successful. I'm going to get whatever I need to be successful. When you say that, you're now putting that on the radar, on your own psyche. And now you're going to start seeing those opportunities that were already there the whole time. You just never thought about them, or you never, you didn't put them on your radar. You had your bills and your problems and, and things that's happening to you in life on your radar. So you saw that all the time. But now you're going to put that thing that we talked about that you need to be successful, that's going to be on your radar. And now you're going to recognize it more often and you're going to realize it was already there the whole time. So anything, an example, somebody said $30 earlier. Be careful what you ask for because you just might get it. I just might send it to you. But you're going to start seeing $30 everywhere you go because it was already there. That $30 was already there. That's why my channel is called At Least Six Figures, because I want to start seeing you see at least 6 figures. Understand, 6 figures is already around you right now. It's just not on your radar. You don't think it's on your radar. You're not paying attention to it. But I'm going to give you ways to start realizing, oh, there is ways for me to make more money. Or there is ways for me to get that dream car. Or there is ways for me to buy that house. You just got to use your time on YouTube wisely. So I'm just going to give you, I don't want to overnight give you a bombard of a bunch of powerful information, but I gave you quite a bit in this live. You know what I mean? So understand, everything that happened to me, I wanted to happen to you. I was able to buy my house. The people around me helped me see the dream. The people around me put that on my radar. They put buying a house on my radar. I start seeing things. I start seeing realtors. I start seeing loans. I start seeing, hey, if you have okay credit, here's a way to get a house. If your credit isn't perfect, don't worry. We can help you get a house. I start seeing those opportunities because it was on my radar then. I was focused on it. Whatever you're focused on is what's going to start appearing. It's already been there. It's 100,000 things around you right now. You're just focused on all the negative stuff, or you're focused on what can't be done. And it always can be done. You know what I'm saying? It always can be done. So now, For those of you who put their credit score on the chat, I'm gonna go scroll through here. Who put their credit score in the chat? Dominic said 15,000. I think that was his debt. Dominic said a 520. Somebody said, please repeat that. I'm going to get the exact amount of money and to get somebody. Okay, Meep, Meep, Meep came up. So somebody put 40,000. I guess you're 40,000 in debt. Meep. Somebody said Meep said $30. At least 30. At least 30. So I'm going to the chat to see who put their credit score. So I think Dominic put a credit score. Meep said he didn't know what a credit score was. Amanda said she's debt free. And there's a lot of people other outside of them, but they didn't put those things, so I'm not mentioning your name yet. Who is this? Kutchin Co. 6211 said what you need is skills. Skills to pay the bills. Definitely skills to pay the bills. So now, really, the number one thing that you really need is to really believe. People don't believe in manifestation. What manifestation does, like when people pray and say, I really want this, I want to manifest this in my life, what they're really doing is that they're bringing forward all the things that's probably around them. They're now putting it on their radar. So they're going to start recognizing more opportunities. That's all you're doing when you're manifesting. You're not, there's no magical way to get money, but you have to put things on your radar. You know what I mean? You gotta, like, when you start thinking about, man, I'm gonna make money. I'm gonna make money. You're gonna start seeing ways to make money, because they've always been there. You've just blocked them out with these other things that's only on your radar. These problems that's been on your radar. Being late on your payment. You know, that $15,000 in debt uh, that you're in. That's on your radar. But you got to say, hey, there's a $30,000. There's a way for me to make 30,000 this month, or in the next couple months, I can make 30,000. When you start saying that to yourself, to the mirror, or saying it out loud enough, you're gonna start seeing ways to make 30,000. Now, I'll give you a for sure way to make 100,000 in 30 days. You don't have good credit if you don't have good credit, but you know somebody who do, right? So if you know somebody with good credit, there's many places out there. I'm in a circle now, but there's many places out there that if you can find somebody with good credit, they can be added and you can just be the person, the middleman to bringing them together. They can be added to a corporation and they can go get about $180,000, 0% interest. I think 6 months to a year, or I think 180 days. I think up to 6 months or 1 year of 0%. You can get about up to 180,000 if your credit is right, or if you know somebody with good credit, or you fix your credit enough to get there. Some of you are gonna have to put in a little work, but you fix your credit. And there's many places out there, and the people who are gonna win, I'm gonna talk to you about this later on, but you're gonna be able to get yourself up to $180,000 with zero, or with the most minimum amount of paperwork. Now, to get more, you may have to show little things, prove some things, but hey, paperwork is paperwork. But you're gonna be able to do those things, so you can get 100 grand. It's just how far are you willing to take it? Like, how much are you willing to, how much attention, you know, people say, hey, he didn't pay attention. Well, how much attention are you willing to pay? If you don't have credit or money, the question is how much attention, because you got to pay something. So how much attention are you willing to pay? Some people are willing to pay attention to the details. It's called creative financing. So it's always ways to get to the money. But the question is, what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? And are you ready to get to that money or not? When I got my first 100,000, I wasn't ready. I'm gonna tell you why I thought I was ready. I thought I was ready. I'm ready for my 100 grand because who's gonna turn it down? Well, what I know now, I probably would have waited. But when I got my first 100 grand, when I got my house, a year after getting my house, I spent almost 40,000 on a cash on a navigator, like an idiot. The dumbest thing I've ever done in my life. Back then, I was a baller. Back then, everybody was like, "Man, you're man." It was everybody who didn't know no better made me feel like that was a good decision to spend $40,000 on a Ford, on a Lincoln Navigator. It was nice. I'm not gonna lie, it was nice, but that was the stupidest thing I've ever done in my life. Why? Because now my 100 grand is I have a little bit above 60,000 left. I spent 40% of my money on an asset or a vehicle that's gonna depreciate as soon as I drive it off the lot. That 40 bands, I end up trading it in and only getting 25 a year later. I said it again. I only got $25,000 back when I traded it in a year later. I bought it for 40, only got 25. Now, luckily, I traded it in for a brand new 7 Series BMW when the new body style came out. Remember, they came out, I think, 2002. I I got a 2003 and 2004. In 2004, I got a 2003. I got a $150,000 car. Guess what I paid for it? 50,000. How? Well, the finance manager at BMW, I knew. I helped them in real estate. I helped them save like $10,000 on this escrow because I'm a escrow genius. I helped him save about $8 to $10,000 off his escrow. So he was like, "Hey man, hey listen, they had this car that they used. It was like about 6 months old, but they used it as the dealership car, and he was able to like discount it a little bit over 50% for me. He said the car is worth over 100,000, but I'm gonna give it to you for 50." And I traded in that Navigator that we're talking about, so I only owed 25. I put $25,000 down on a $150,000 car. So I only owed 25,000 when I drove off, and I had a 0.9% BMW loan at the time. My credit was good. From bad credit to being able to, it's a night and day how credit was able to help me. So I'm telling you these stories because you need to hear them. So I only had a 0.9% interest rate. I only owed 25,000 on this car. I had equity. Later on, remember I told you when I bought the Navigator, I spent 40, but I lost like 15,000 off the rip after trading it in a year later. Well, how I got it back when I traded it in for the 7 Series, a 745i. Remember there's an Li, the long one, and then the I. I got the I because it was a little bit more. It was a little bit more sportier. It was roomy. It was fast. It saved gas too. I remember getting like 26, 27 miles a gallon. Everybody thought I was like a everybody because I'm I'm a big guy. I'm like 6'3", close to 300 pounds muscle. People thought I was a football player. They just thought I was a retired football player or something. People thought I was a sports star because that's all they can fathom me, I guess, as a black person being with money. He must be a football player. They didn't think I was a lawyer or a real estate. They didn't think I used my intelligence for some strange reason. But hey, I didn't correct them. I let them believe I was a football player, and that got me into so many things. Trust me, that got me into so many deals with people because they thought I was a football player. Anyway, that's another story. So, boom, I only owed $25,000 on the car, the 7 Series Beamer, but it was worth about 140 at the time. So I had about how much did I have in equity? I had like a little bit over $100,000 in equity. So what did I do? I refinanced the car. I think 6 months later, I refinanced the car. The other people paid off the 25 from BMW that I owed, and I end up getting in cash like 70 some thousand dollars. But I had a brand new loan now showing I owe, I think it was like a $78,000 loan that I had left on her. But I still had equity in the car, a little bit. But as I drove it, less and less equity. You understand? Less and less equity. But I still had, I think, got 20, 25, $30,000 in equity, and I got $70,000 cash. But I had $1,000 car note. But in my head, hey, $70,000. Well, I have 70 payments. So I can pay 20 payments. That's 20 months. That's damn near 2 years. And I still have $50,000 to go invest and buy more homes and fix my credit more and do all these things. I borrowed money. You understand? So I borrowed money to make money. Now, we were talking about that car. Remember, I took out 100 grand from one of my homes. I was able to recoup it back 70,000 with the car. All the things that was done before can be done today. So the difference between me and the people around me, I was the youngest person in my neighborhood at the time. I was in my early 20s. All my neighbors was 40 and up. A brand new house built from the scratch. I ended up buying two or three brand new properties built from scratch over a course of a 3 year span. I think I bought a total of 4 or 5 homes, mansions, 3,000, 4,000 square feet houses. I learned a lot. I was in a lot of escrows. That's why I'm a king of escrow, because I've been in escrow so many times. I know how to, I just know how to run escrow and make and save you money and just make it work for you. Because escrow is working for you. But again, that's another story. I'm gonna have that conversation. We're gonna have an escrow conversation next time, because you need to know what escrow is. Like, you know, you got to start getting ready to thinking about buying homes and buying things, buying assets at the end of the day. Even if you're gonna buy a business one day, you're gonna have to get an escrow. So we're gonna have an escrow conversations. But I'm just giving you information about how did I get to here? Well, because I just made a decision. I had people around me and I made a decision. I wasn't making any more money. I just, the money and the resources that I currently had coming in, I just changed directions of what I was doing with that money and my time. So I paid attention. I was paying with attention, and I was using my resources differently than everybody else. I was using my resources how the rich people showed me how. And within a 5 month span, boom, I'm living the dream. I'm no longer paycheck to paycheck. I have over a quarter of $1 million in my bank account. I was getting 80 to $120,000 lump sums every other month, frequently. You know, I'm no smarter than anyone else. Today, yes, I have a shit ton of knowledge, but at that time, hey, I just did what the rich people were doing. I took the risk. you know the universe. I asked for certain things. I remember praying. I put it on my psyche. I put it on my radar. I remember praying, man, I wish I can get a house. I wish I can have some rich friends. I said that out loud a couple of times. I wish I had some rich friends. And I put it on my site and I said, oh, this guy's rich. Hey, what's going on? I started talking to him and helping him and and boom, it panned out. I made the right rich friends and they helped me do better. Like I'm trying to help you now. I'm a rich friend trying to help you. Not just financially, I'm rich with knowledge. You know, it's not popular at the end of the day. I don't know everything, but I know a lot. Financially, I know a lot. Contract wise, I know too much. So, He or she who's worthy will receive when it comes to me. He or she who's worthy will receive. Your character and who you are is everything for me. Your money is second. Who you are as a person is first. All money ain't good money. So you're going to have to change how you see things. You're going to start thinking about putting these things that you want in life on your radar. Start focusing on these things. And you will see they've been there the whole time. You just never, you just never gave it the time of day until now. Until now. You're now going to start giving the things that you want to do in this life the time of day. So again, this is Master Bob with at least six figures. Now, if you can, I'm going to send you a direct message. I'm going to probably need your Cash App because I'm going to pick 3 people here. I'm going to shut this live down, and then I'm going to scroll through the top liker, the top commenter, and the people who said out loud. I'm going to scroll through, and then I'm going to try to contact you. So get ready for your $100, or you can use that $100 for a consultation with me, or I might just bless you with one. You know what I mean? I might just bless you with one. So the most likes, the most thumbs up, the most shares, and I think I said the most comments. And if you say out loud, I am going to get exactly what I need to be successful. Let's say that again together. I am going to get exactly what I need to be successful. $100 is just the beginning. You know what I mean? $100 is just the beginning. You're going to be able to get whatever it is that you need to be successful, but you got to be willing to pay something. First, you're going to pay attention. You know what I mean? And you're going to start using your current resources, whatever you currently have coming in, you're going to start using those things. I'm going to help you with it. You're going to start using those things to correct whatever is broken in your life. And by no time, by the next time you look up and think about it, you're going to be either halfway there or you're going to be crossing that finish line. But there's always more races. And remember, in life, once you conquer one thing, what's next? It's a never-ending story. I learn forever. I'm a forever student, but I'm a forever mentor at the end of the day. I'm going to always be teaching because I'm going to always be learning. As the world turns, I'm showing my age. As the world turns, we got to keep going. Remember, God is in control. You're in control too, though. If you have the ability to pay attention to what God and the universe is trying to tell you or trying to show you a lot, when you exercise those muscles in life and you start paying attention to the right things, surrounding yourself with the right people, pouring into the right people, because some people are mud. If you pour into them, you're just going to make a mess. Some people, you help them, you're just going to make a problem for yourself. I don't want you to be a problem for me. I don't want to help you and you become a problem for me. I want to pour into you for you to grow, for you to produce fruit. And maybe I can grab a bite. At least 6 figures.